Today we're at Green Life in Mamaroneck, New York, and I am going to be talking about all things meal prep. What I personally in my own life do for meal prep, services that you yourself can use regardless where you are in the country for meal prep, and then strategies of how to meal prep for yourself. So I'm going to break down like protein sources that I think have a better time for holding, like that you can make and keep in your refrigerator, vegetables that I've seen last better and that are worthwhile using when meal prepping, because you want really high fiber vegetables, fruits, ones that are really convenient and that again are high fiber, fat sources, and carbohydrate sources. And just in general today, I want to talk about all things meal prep in depth. So starting off, what I do in my own personal life. So the way I've always viewed meal prepping is simply you always make multiple servings whenever you cook. You should never cook a single meal. If you sat down and you said, oh, I want to have a chicken breast for lunch with like broccoli and rice, I wouldn't simply cook that meal. What I would actually do is cook a family pack of chicken on the grill or throw it in the oven and bake it, because then I have multiple servings of it and I can put the extra in my refrigerator, and the next time I want chicken, I don't have to spend 15 minutes cooking it. And especially when you're dieting, you're gonna find that you're eating protein frequently, you're gonna need to up the portions of the protein, you're trying to eat those single ingredients, and it's gonna become a management, more about time management than actually just discipline. It's gonna be much more easy to be disciplined if you already have it pre-cooked. Same thing is true, like when I cook up vegetables, I'm gonna cook up multiple servings of those vegetables. So for me, what I do is whenever we cook dinner, like we had this miso salmon the other night, we cooked up extra portions of it, and I actually had miso salmon then for lunch the next day. And that would be my suggestion to you personally, is to always cook multiple servings of every meal. The other thing that I do is that I actually use a meal prep service. I use a local meal prep service. I understand this isn't realistic for everyone, but for me, I use Green Life and they're in Mamaroneck, New York, and I use them to help supplement those multiple servings that I'm cooking, because I eat frequently during the day, not because it has a magic effect on fat loss, but because I'm trying to get protein throughout the day, and because I'm a big person, I need to eat a lot of meals. If you only need to eat a couple meals a day, maybe you just need a meal prep service for lunch. Or again, if you're cooking multiples of dinner, you may not even need to use a meal prep service. But I do want to talk about services that are available besides meal prepping. So I'm going to talk about 5 meal prep services that deliver, not all of them at a national level, but I'm going to talk about these 5 services and what I like and don't like about each. Let's start off with Trifecta. They are the big boy. They have a very customizable menu. They have a lot of options for food preferences, and their calories are in the right place. I'm using a little cheat sheet here. Their calories are around 300 to 500, and the protein is all 30 grams plus. So that's really what I like about Trifecta. What I don't like about Trifecta is my girlfriend doesn't enjoy it. My girlfriend's a partner in an accounting firm, and so she's not a meathead like me. So her taste buds are more reflective of general population. And I've had clients that have ordered Trifecta and not enjoyed it. So the calories, the macros are great, but not everybody enjoys the taste. They do have a money back guarantee though. So Trifecta, in my opinion, is a good option. Eat Clean Bro, they're located in New Jersey. They deliver throughout New Jersey and select parts of New York. So they do Manhattan, they do Westchester, things like that. Their calorie range is like 500 to 600, and their protein is really up there. Their protein is like 50 grams of protein. So they crush it in the macro game. The taste, most people tend to enjoy it, and they have a large menu with a variety of different flavor profiles. And they also say that they make it fresh every day. So you can pick up if you're close to a store. So if you're like in New Jersey, you can pick up their location and it's made fresh every day. So they're very similar to like a Green Life, but in New Jersey. But they will deliver to select parts of New York. Factor. Okay. Factor, the calories are too high. Some of them have 40 grams of protein, some of them have like 20 grams of protein. So for that amount of calories and the amount of protein they have, having said that, going back to my girlfriend, like using her as the litmus test, she loves Factor. She loves the taste of the meal. So they have meal prep that everyday people will actually enjoy. But I think they're high in calories, and I don't think the protein's always excellent. The menu switches every week, and they have like 30 plus options on the menu. So they're good in that way as well. Daily Dose, that's service number 4. Here's the deal. I've ordered from Daily Dose. The meals are insanely good. They're incredibly good. The shakes are not. The shakes, terrible. But the meals are really, really good. And they're unique and they're interesting. They're like chicken nuggets that are healthy. They're all over the place, like phenomenal. They're almost like gourmet meals. The price is expensive. And the biggest issue I have, besides even just the price being expensive, so you get great quality, but you also get at a great expense. But the other issue I've had is that I've measured out their portions. They've been like, oh yeah, this is 40 grams of protein. I measure out the chicken. It's like 4 ounces of chicken. They're not always honest about how much protein is in the meal. They use, you can go on the website and you can order like Brian Mazza's meals, Gabrielle Lyon's meals. So influencers create menus for them. So the menus are different, they're unique and they're interesting and they change frequently. So I will give it to them again on the taste and I like how they're marketing it. I just don't like that the portions weren't accurate. That's a no-no for me. Just meats. Okay, so a lot of services like Trifecta, for example, they will sell you the protein by itself. Just Meats only sells you the protein. They will send you like smoked meats or they'll send you like brisket. They have all these unique options. And when they send it to you, they also send you recipes that you can make with it. So if you really want the highest quality meal prep that you can get outside of Daily Dose, it would probably be Just Meats, because they'll send you the meats and then you have to cook around it, because otherwise if it's not made locally and it's had to be shipped for you, it's hard to make a meal like chicken parm really taste like chicken parm that you've ate 3 days later that's been shipped to you. Whereas Just Meats, it kind of accomplishes that because it gives you the protein. The other thing is all the protein passes the test, meaning that for every 100 calories is at least 10 grams of protein, and they also have a money back guarantee. Those are meal prep services that I actually like to varying levels throughout the United States. Starting with protein, because that is the single most important aspect when you are building a diet to build muscle and lose fat. I have 4 meals here at Green Life that not only highlight protein and meals that I would actually purchase at Green Life, but they're also meals that I would make at home. So let's go through each of them and talk about why I like them, why I like ordering them from Green Life, and why I would actually cook them at home and how I would cook them at home. The first, the steak bowl. Okay, we've got lean steak here. You could buy sirloin, you could buy top sirloin, grass-fed sirloin. Look at the back of the package. Make sure there's at least 10 grams of protein per 100 calories because some steaks are fattier than others. But choose a lean steak, cook up your potatoes, throw a vegetable in there, throw it in the container, cook up 2 to 3 servings of it, and now you have meal prep for the next couple days. Again, this is something I would order at Green Life and also have at home. Secondly, burgers. Most of the time for the third meal a day, I'm having a burger, whether it's a sandwich or it's a burger. I like a comfort meal for lunch. And so air frying some French fries or baking some French fries. I use one of these high fiber thins, that's what they call these. They're a great substitute for a bun. And then you can just throw some bison patties or some lean beef patties on the grill, cook them up. It's very easy to meal prep and it's very delicious here at Green Life. Turkey chili. Look, chili is extremely easy to cook. You essentially put it in a pot, you put it into a slow cooker, a crock pot, and you can cook it up while you're not even standing over watching it. So this is extremely easy to meal prep. We got a little avocado in there. We talked about that hold well. We've got the sweet potatoes again. They actually use Greek yogurt instead of sour cream. Tastes exactly like it to your palate when you're using it. So turkey chili is another example. You can buy some lean turkey, like something like 93.7 or even a higher fraction like 95.5. Use that as your turkey chili. That's an excellent and easy to make meal. It's something I commonly order from Green Life. Last one. Now this has guacamole on it. Again, I told you I love to use guacamole. Avocado, it'll last even longer. It's got vegetables on there. And most importantly, it's got that Mission Carb Wrap. They have those smaller ones. And this is extremely high in fiber. It's full of protein. We use chicken. If I was gonna cook chicken, I'm gonna throw it in the grill. I'm gonna throw it in the oven. I'm gonna do it in bulk. But these are easy ideas that you can either order from Green Life or you yourself can cook for dinner and then make extra portions, because the most important aspect is the protein. So chicken breast, chicken thighs, lean chicken thighs, lean ground turkey, lean steak, lean patties of beef or bison. Excellent options for protein. And these are all excellent suggestions for dinner or for meal prep. So we've talked about protein. That's the foundation of a diet, especially when you're trying to build muscle and lose fat. Then your second wheel is fruit and vegetables. Fruit and vegetables should be with every single meal. Every single meal you should be having protein. every single meal you should be having fruit and vegetables. And today I'm going to talk about the vegetables and fruit that I particularly like for meal prep. That doesn't mean that these are per se the only fruit or vegetables that I like. I'm just picking these fruits and vegetables based on convenience and also will they store well. Like, can I put this in my refrigerator? It's a Monday, I cook up my meal prep and I don't eat the meal till Thursday. Is that vegetable going to hold? And also too, is that vegetable nutritious? So when we talk about vegetables, broccoli is for me the king of vegetables, and the reason is it's just so high in fiber, it's chock full of nutrients, and at the same time it really lasts very well in the refrigerator. So broccoli is my first and foremost go-to choice. Equally as effective in terms of fiber, as equally nutritious is Brussels sprouts, but I just don't really like the taste of Brussels sprouts. But for you, if you like Brussels sprouts, again, very fibrous and they really last in the refrigerator very well. My other choice for me personally, green beans. I love green beans. I put some sriracha sauce on them. They taste absolutely insane. The right seasoning on them. You put them on the side with some steak, incredible. And they last really well. They hold. So again, if you cook them on a Monday, they're going to still be good on a Thursday. And they're high in fiber. So typically when I'm meal prepping, when I'm cooking meals that are going to be having over the next course, the next couple days, I'm picking broccoli and I'm picking green beans. A vegetable that I love that I have to talk about is asparagus. I really enjoy asparagus, but the reality with it is it does not hold well. So if I cook asparagus on a Monday, it's going to start to taste bad after a couple days. So I don't think it's ideal for meal prepping. Even though I think it's great to cook with, I wouldn't use it for meal prepping, especially if I'm not going to eat it the next day. Artichoke hearts also should throw out a mention there. Very, very, very high in fiber. That's a great option as well, but I typically use broccoli and green beans. For fruit. Okay, berries are the king of all fruit, especially raspberries. Super high in fiber, super high in antioxidants, but not always easy to take in a lunchbox with you. So that's why I kind of ruled it out. But if I was at home, I always have berries in the refrigerator. I always have berries in the freezer. Kiwis, mangoes, incredibly high in fiber. Who doesn't love the taste of them? But the reality is you have to slice them open. So just when meal prepping, it's hard for the fact of convenience. I chose fruits that are really, really easy to take with me on the go. Just throw in my lunchbox and walk out the door. Apples, I think these are apples and pears. They're the single most convenient fruit because you can literally just rinse them off and eat them. Oranges you have to peel, but still really convenient. Maybe a little messy, but the oranges taste freaking delicious. So apples, pears, oranges really work great for meal prep. Also bananas, shout out to them. The only thing is bananas, they're a combination of fructose and glucose. That doesn't matter, but it does matter that they're a little bit more caloric. So they might be good like for like a post-workout shake. Actually, they might be the perfect fruit for a post-workout shake, but for most of us on dieting, we're looking for as little calories as possible with as much fiber as we can get. So apples, oranges, pears, all super convenient. These are the fruit and vegetables that I use when meal prepping, when I know that I have to be on the go, bringing meals with me when I'm running errands or just work or just living life. I love carbohydrates. I love carbohydrates. You can have carbs on a diet and lose weight. The most important thing is being in a caloric deficit. So I'm going to talk about carbs that I particularly use for meal prepping. When it comes to rice, I know I'm going to sound sacrilegious here, but you can't cook rice and then leave it in the refrigerator. It just tastes horrible. There are even issues with bacteria. So besides for your gut and maybe getting like a tummy ache, even just for taste, if you leave rice in the refrigerator for 3 days, it's just so miserable. And the whole purpose of what I teach people is you don't have to be miserable while eating nutritious food. So if I use rice as meal prep, I use the microwavable rice. Uncle Ben's is my go-to, and I literally would pack my protein and my vegetables in a little container, and then I would put this thing on top. I'd cook it up. There's a lot of calories in here. There's 420, so depending on the size of you, this might be enough rice for 2 meals. So I bring my container with my protein, my fruit, my vegetables, and then I bring this on the side, and this is what I use for meal prep. Or you can meal prep potatoes, and potatoes are amazing. You can bake them, you can throw them in the air fryer, cut them up, make them into fries. For me, any kind of potato, they all have advantages and disadvantages. red potatoes, russet potatoes, sweet potatoes. But if I'm gonna cook meals and I need them to be all cooked, I can't rely on a microwave. I'm gonna use potatoes as my carbohydrate source because they just hold a lot better. Other options, Mission carb wraps, or like 6-4, I've been making a burger, use like a 6-4-7 bun. Those are great options as well because they're just super, super high in fiber. You know, you want to have most of your food being single ingredient foods, but to use products like Mission carb wraps or the 6-4-7 bread, those are very helpful to hit your fiber goals. So for meal prep, it's either microwavable rice, it's either potatoes that I cooked up, or I'm bringing 6-4-7 bread or a Mission carb wrap using on something like a fajita. So we've talked about our protein source, talked about fruit and vegetables, we talked about carbohydrates, which I love. Now let's talk about fat sources. Here's the way I view it. Protein is going to have saturated fat. If you're eating a high protein diet, you are getting enough saturated fat in your diet, unless you're going out of your way to completely avoid it. So if you're going to add fats to your meal prep, they should be healthy fats. I always laugh, there's this meme of an avocado who's a husband talking to an avocado who's a wife, and he's chasing her, and he said, "No, but you're a good kind of fat." Cheesy, but it brings home the point. Avocados are the best possible fat source that you can have because they're not only monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fat, they also are so high in fiber. So this is a really high fiber fruit that also is just chocked with healthy fats. So, and I also think that my rule of thumb is like, will it last 72 hours? If you cut up an avocado and you add it to your meal prep, it's going to stay good for 72 hours. And if you make it into guac, it may even last longer. When it comes to nuts, you can get cashews, you can get almonds, you can get walnuts, whatever you get though, please either you yourself buy nuts and then individually pack them, weigh them out and portion them, or buy these 100-calorie packs because nuts are super caloric. So they're full of healthy fats, monounsaturated and polyunsaturated, but they're just so caloric that I would really suggest getting the individual packs. So that's really meal prep in a nutshell. We talked about what I do for meal prep. We talked about meal prep services I use or you could use at a national level. We talked about Green Life and protein. We talked about fruits and vegetables. We talked about carbohydrates, and we talked about fats. Look, simplify meal prep for yourself as much as possible. The truth is that meal prep is really just cooking multiple servings at one time. You don't have to sit down in your kitchen and take 2 hours to meal prep. It doesn't have to be a whole ordeal. Just the next time you're sitting down to cook dinner, cook extra portions. That's the best way to do it. And if you're truly struggling, especially if right now you're trying to lose some weight, then hire a meal prep service, especially if you can afford to. Just don't be stubborn. A lot of people, they always try to do it themselves, and the fast-paced life that we lead today, you may need help. So I've given you some great meal prep options. If you're in Westchester, I would suggest Green Life, but otherwise, like I said, Trifecta is a really good service. I personally like their meals. F Factor, I think, is a little high in calorie, but my girlfriend really likes their meals. And if you want to just get a meat source, we also gave you an option for that because a lot of the services will give you meat only. And then you can do, like, you can add the avocado or you can add the microwavable rice and just cook up some vegetables with it. I hope that's helpful. If you like what you see here, the majority of my following is on Instagram, Jacob Zemer. Click subscribe, hit like, leave a comment. I appreciate all the support, guys, and I hope this is truly impactful in your life and for your own meal prepping.